pounds. I got this.
How about that leg press? When can I get on that leg press?
I mean, depends.
Yeah, and so another thing that you're going to notice is that a lot of the questions that when we do take questions, it's going to be, these things depend. They depend on you. There's so many different variables that go into your pain that there isn't a definitive answer, and a lot of it is trial and error.
Yeah, what works for you won't work for somebody else, vice versa.
Yep, absolutely.
So there is no black and white.
There's a lot of gray in this world.
Yeah,
including Will's beard.
Hey, it's more white than gray. I
know,
feel.
We're already throwing personal darts out, aren't we?
It's you really want to start this path?
We can go down this road if you want.
I don't really want to.
Me neither. No.
It's
too early.
I'm tired. You're probably way more tired than I am.
Yeah, just for those that one listener that we have out there, which will probably be our wives. Yeah, my wife and I and the kids just got back from a family vacation. Pretty exhausting, but a lot of fun. Kids had a lot of fun, so
good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
where were we?
Yeah. So I think maybe the next thing we just need to talk about is kind of what the plans are for the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll probably be reviewing some products. Okay.
Yep.
Some self-treatment products. Yeah, and maybe we weren't clear on this. The whole goal of this podcast is really to give you information on how to self-treat and self-manage your symptoms. Just in the title of the podcast, do it yourself, treat yourself, manage yourself. Most of these things that
it's better to get it. If it's bothering you a little bit now, it's better to start doing something about it now rather than later, because how many times have you had somebody walk in and said, yeah, this has been bothering me for a year. Why didn't you do anything about it before now? Because now it's going to be a lot harder to get rid of.
Yep. Yeah. Anytime pain turns into chronicity or turns into chronic pain, it becomes much more difficult to
nip it in the bud,
to decrease or diminish. And so, the old adage of it's 20 miles into the woods, 20 miles out of the woods. If you've been in pain for 6 years, it's not going to get done in 6 days, guys. So consistency is what really you need to look at and get on this thing early in terms of managing your own symptoms. But yeah, so that's really what the podcast is about, is giving you guys tools and hopefully some insight into what you may be experiencing if you do go into the clinic, and some expectations if you do go into the clinic, and what
and everybody and every therapist treats a little bit different.
Way different, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it just because we're telling you that this is the way to do it, someone you might go into a physical therapist and they may say, "Oh, they're crazy,"
and we are.
Yeah, I mean, we're totally crazy, but this is kind of our basic read on a lot of things.
Well, and the bottom line here is that most, not to get into some of the insurance and Medicare and politics behind it, but most insurances and Medicare are trying to decrease the amount of time that you actually are able to see clinicians. So Will and I kind of talked a little bit about, our thoughts and philosophies on treatment. Our goal when we see you is to do as little hands-on techniques with you as possible, because we want you to be active participants in your rehab, and we want you to be able to learn how to manage your symptoms on your own.
Because we will not be there all of the rest of your life to do the thing. So even though rubbing your neck or your back feels better, we're not going to be there all the time to do those things. So finding a way to manage your pain by yourself is
really the key.
Basically the key.
Yeah. So, that's where this podcast really took off from. And hopefully we can get better at this, for one, because this sounds pretty brutal this time, doesn't it?
I think it's not too bad for first.
Whenever you
we managed to avoid talking about Game of Thrones or Westworld or anything of that nature.
Which we could, but
I mean,
our wives wouldn't like to listen to that when we make them listen to it.
I mean, I did see a picture of Maisie Williams with Darth Vader behind her, so it was kind of funny.
Huh. I wonder where that's going.
You know who she is? That's she's the
Arya?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know Maisie Williams.
I'm
just making sure.
I honestly brain farted on her name.
All the time?
Well, yes.
Yeah, so really, we're going to be discussing really any types of dysfunctions, problems that people are having: low back pain, neck pain, shoulder, elbow, hand, wrist, knee, ankle, gait, balance, whatever it is. We'll take any questions, and
if you have questions, we have an email address at DIYtherapy at google.com, and you could
Google or Gmail.
Gmail, which is the same thing, right?
Yeah, but you can't put at google.com.
Well, what happened if you do it?
Nothing.
How do you know? Have you tried?
No, because it's at Gmail.
Now I want to try.
Well, we can try, but this may not be the time to discuss it.
Fine.
Jeez.
Anyway, so it's DIYtherapy at gmail.com, or we have a Twitter account at DIYtherapy. You can add us, I guess. I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the whole Twitter thing.
Yeah.
Then we also, you'll be able to find our podcast on www.theinvertibelt.com. That's a product that actually I created several years ago when I ended up hurting my own back and realized that there were certain things that we did in the clinic that I couldn't do on my own, and kind of developed this product.
It's pretty slick.
We also have other treatments, solutions, and strategies for low back pain specifically on that website, and we'll continue to add content on there. So, hopefully we can continue to just kind of expand content, and you guys can continue to learn from us and from our insights. We'll also try to bring on some guest speakers that have some expertise in
specific areas.
Yeah, things like pain science, a very hot topic right now.
Pain science, what is that?
Oh, pain science. Pain science. It is the idea.
Yeah, how do you describe that?
Well, it's based upon the biopsychosocial model, which means that pain is much
English?
more complex. There's a biology to it, there's a psychology to it, and then it's also a social aspect to it. So it pulls from all three realms and isn't specifically all about, hey, you have something showing up on an MRI, so there's pain. There's pain that has to be coming from some type of problem that shows on that MRI, or that pain equals damage or damage equals pain. There's a lot more nuance to it is probably a good way. We'll tackle that probably a little bit more
when you get to those specific things
in future podcasts. But so we'll bring on some specific experts moving forward. We've got a couple other people that we have lined up. We'll do some reviews. We'll take on questions also that individuals have. We'll have all kinds of different topics that we can discuss. In fact, I think we made a list the other day that was like 75 things long. So you might be hearing from us.
You made a list.
I made a list. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You just showed up and actually you're the recorder, aren't you?
So I'm like, the recorder's like the flute things, right? And I'm not the recorder. The microphone's the recorder, and the computer.
But you're in charge of the microphone.
I guess I'm in charge of that, but that's whatever. Anyway, I don't make lists.
I'm a list maker.
I make a list before I go to the grocery store.
Actually,
and I invariably will always forget one thing.
Actually, the truth be told is I was not a list maker until I got married. Because then my wife, my wife likes to know things and when they come on. Like she was a little grumpy because she thought you were going to be here at 11 and then it ended up being at noon. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm just throwing it out there, and I'm like, it's going to be okay. We still can get these things accomplished throughout the day. But she really just likes to check things off the list, and she makes lists for me on my days off. So I've got a honeydew
list. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
So, but I don't know what else. Anything else that we missed on on my list here that we?
Yeah, your list. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think
not for that first one.
I think we covered just about everything.
So, and we'll be a lot of times summing up from pain is in all of these things we'll be talking about. Basically,
yes.
There are probably we might talk about balance, but obviously that won't include pain. But everything kind of stems from pain that we'll be talking about, so we'll always kind of readdress a lot of this stuff, I feel. Mm-hmm. Just reword it and...
Yeah, hopefully get better at it.
I mean,
I don't. Hey, yeah, give us a rating, and if you don't like us, don't rate us. Just walk away, don't come back. But give us those 5-star ratings.
No, give us a 5-star rating, and then just say you can in the comments section and tell us how bad. We are.
Yeah.
As long as it's a 5-star, I don't particularly care what you say afterwards.
Yeah, but we probably won't read them.
I can't read.
Re-add.
That's why I don't do this.
That's why.
I mean, honestly,
I knew it. I knew it was. There was something missing.
It's the simple answers that are. We always think that things are more complicated than they are. Nope.
The guy just can't read.
Nope.
Somehow he got his master's and can't read.
I mean, it's all about bluffing.
There you go. All right. Would you like to close?
Yeah. We'll close with a disclaimer. As always, we must start podcast with. We're ending the podcast with a disclaimer.
Yes.
And same thing as check with your doctor before starting any exercise program. It should be reviewed by your medical professional prior to beginning. Information on this podcast is not designed to replace medical treatment. And remember out there, treat yourself.